Hello friends, welcome back to more Reddit stories about entitled people, insane people, and everything in between. Hope you're all doing awesome today. Be sure to subscribe for more and let's get right into it. My parents told me I owe them for all they've done for me after secretly stealing my identity. This year I have become knowledgeable on why credit is so important. Blindly, I downloaded my credit report, expecting close to nothing to be on it. I knew that I had a school loan and 2 of my own credit cards. What I found out next quite possibly may have shattered my heart. I was shocked to see that I had a total of 6 credit cards open. What? How could this be? Where did these extra 4 cards come from? Why are they open still with outstanding balances? Why have 2 been closed by the creditor? Why is my credit so low? After panicking for a few minutes, my mind began to wander to a place I've hoped it never would. My mother. 6 years ago, my mother first stole my identity by opening her first credit card in my name, using my social. Since then, she has opened 3 more credit cards and has practically utilized them to their maximum limits. She has missed payments and had accounts closed from years ago that still have balances. How could my mother do this to me? I felt sick, I felt hurt, I felt confused. I felt angry, I felt overwhelmed, I felt disgust. I immediately called my mom on the phone and I was not holding back. She hung up on me immediately. I then proceeded to call my stepdad to inform him about the situation and vent about how upset I was. The poor brainwashed and manipulated man stood up for my mother stealing my identity and said, "She was only trying to build your credit." At this point, I am angry, upset, hurt, confused, frustrated, and feeling more emotions than believed humanly possible. I know my mother has struggled financially in the past, with their previous home going into foreclosure and having to file for bankruptcy. At one point, my stepdad was working 3 jobs to support my mother, brother, and me while my mother was jobless. My mother did not work while with my dad, her first husband, either. He busted his butt at his restaurant in order to provide for my family, and sadly missed many birthdays and important events in the process. Did she ever feel any remorse? What she had done is illegal. She could go to jail. I could press charges. I could put a burden on her life, just like she did on mine. The perfect life my mother displays on her social media is all a cover. She is not rich, she does not have a perfect family, her relationship isn't perfect, and she is not pleasant to be around. Once confronted, my mother experienced some sort of bipolar/split personality episode, where she went back and forth between attempting to guilt me and cursing me out. Please read below. This is an example of a text thread that was entirely my mother speaking, without me interrupting. Notice the repeating mood swings. Uncalled for accusations. We will pay the credit cards off as soon as possible. I never intended to put you out, but create credit for you. You are out of control. You can expect your credit to go up by 30 points when paid off. I never took a penny from you. All I did was try and help you. I am done. I am over trying to help you. I did everything I could for you. I would never let you fail. WTF, is this my daughter thanking me? Oh, I am so disappointed to you and your reaction. My intentions are to pay it off and let you be on your own. You are out of control. It was not until a week later that I spoke to my mother again, reminding her of the debt she has to pay and that no payments have yet to be made. Our conversation ended with her saying, "Bye, been paid, bye, f*** off, and I say, "Own up to what you have done." And she says, "I'm freaking sorry for giving you credit." The following day, she informed me that she had paid off and closed all of the cards. I asked her for proof of email, screenshot, etc. I have yet to hear back from her. She told me that I owe her for all she's done for me as a parent. You were not deprived. She has this made-up scenario in her mind that without her doing this for me, aka running 4 cards over their limit and missing payments, that I would have 0 credit. Anyway, since her closing 3 of the 4 cards, my credit has gone up nearly 80 points. Our relationship now? I still feel it's ruined. I still hate her and am disgusted by her actions and what she has done to me. We still have yet to speak. She refuses to apologize because she believes that I owe her for parenting me. Now we are civil, but things will never be the same. She still is set on the fact she did absolutely nothing wrong. Fake cop tried to arrest me in a cafe. A little background because heaven knows we all need it for the story. I'm a pretty big girl, not extremely obese, but chunky enough that it's obvious. And it's not due to diet. I have polycystic ovary syndrome, or PCOS, which can cause issues with weight due to the pituitary gland releasing the wrong type of hormones. With this comes insulin resistance, which is like pre-diabetes. It's reversible but not always effective. As such, in my 20s, I'm on a drug called metformin. Metformin, or glucophage, depending on what name you know it by, isn't an addictive substance. It's used to control high insulin, and I have to take it with my heaviest meals, lunch and supper. So I'm usually toting around this giant pill bottle full of white tablets. The reason why I do this is because I work part-time and attend university. I live in the dormitory of my university and have to take transit to work and back, with a bus switch downtown. Around that area where I have to switch my bus are numerous cafes and convenience stores. Needless to say, I've grabbed something to eat from there numerous times. It was Friday. My instructor was ill, so class was canceled, and I had an extra hour to get to work. This Friday, with extra time on my hands, I decided upon arriving at my stop to go to a cafe. I go in, order my usual, and sit down next to the window so I can keep an eye on the stop. I have my earbuds in and I'm listening to a podcast, just going through the motions. Once finishing my food, I unzip the front pocket of my backpack, fish out the bottle of pills, pop it, and wash it down with my latte. All at once, this guy just comes up to my table and motions for me to take my earbud out. For a description, he's pretty tall, kind of burly, white as a sheet with this broom mustache, wearing clean civilian clothes. Nothing that set off my alarm bells. Being confused, I do so, and he tells me, "Excuse me, miss, but what exactly are those?" He was talking about my pills. A thing with me is that I'm pretty confrontational when I feel threatened, so I said to him, "None of your business." Then this guy pulls open his jacket, flashing me a police badge. Only he did it quickly, so I couldn't make out the details, just the shape and nothing else. "I think it is. What are those? Narcotics?" At this point, I'm in complete shock. The rational part of my brain is shut off because I'm so caught off guard by this random man, potentially a cop, looming over me. "No," is all I could get out. "That so?" he says and picks up my pill bottle. Also, if you know medication, you know they put your full name on the damn label, as well as what it is. Before I can tell him to give it back, he puts it in his pocket and quickly goes, "I'm confiscating these, Miss Lucky." Not my actual name, but yeah. If you want to come with me downtown to discuss this further, I suggest we do so now, before I have to place you under arrest. Okay, so at this point, I'm half calling it bullcrap, half unsure what to say or how to react. All I'm able to say is a flat-out no, like a moron. "Do you want to be placed under arrest? I'm a cop, miss. I can do that." And then he fishes out this pair of handcuffs. They're not the fluffy kink ones you'd expect a fake cop to have. They're real, and as far as I can tell, metal. "I'd recommend you just follow me to my car so we can have a chat." Of course, my sense of rationality is still undermined by the sheer ridiculousness of the situation, so I end up just blurting out, "I'm not using drugs, bad ones. That's medicine." He says this cliche, "That's what they all say," and proceeds to reach for my arm. When he grabs it, my senses finally come to me and I pull back, up against the window. "Give me back my medication," I yell, loud enough to get the attention from the patrons and staff. "Miss, I'm asking you to come quietly," he says along those lines. I keep my mouth running. "That's my medication for diabetes and I need it. If you're a cop, give me back my pills and call for backup. Better yet," I proceed to grab my phone. "I'll call the cops here because there's been a mistake." That got him pissed off. He says something along the lines of, "You're resisting arrest," and tries to grab my arm again. At this point, I'm dialing 911, and one of the baristas is coming out from behind the counter. He asks this guy, "What the hell are you doing?" It finally scares the creep and he takes off. Granted, with my medication in his pocket. I speak to the dispatcher and the real cops show up within minutes. I speak to the cops and explain what happened. The barista also tells them that this guy had been sitting in the cafe for over an hour before I showed up, but hadn't been bothering other customers. Just me, apparently. Cops took surveillance from the security cameras, though of course there is none pointing out into the road. I actually had to go to the station to file a report because, yup, there were no undercover narc cops in that area that day. So 100% wasn't an actual one. I suspected as much, but in our society you're inclined to believe and trust in authority figures. These days, not so much, but disobeying them isn't in our programming usually. It really isn't in mine either, but the whole thing was fishy from the get-go. Considering, of course, it was my effing metformin he took, and I had to replace the entire 3-month bottle and go several hours between doses, something that puts me at risk for hypoglycemia, low blood sugar. I am, of course, quite pissed off at this a-hole still, but I'll admit I'm also fully aware and freaked out that I was in a whole lot of danger too. It's not common where I live, but human trafficking is a thing, and the fact that this guy wanted me, a lone female, to go with him alone gets to me. What if my common sense didn't kick in? Or the barista hadn't done something? The people around us sure as heck didn't pull a "what would you do" and come to my rescue. Biggest thing that's freaky is that not only is this guy not caught yet, haven't heard a word from the cops in almost a week, but he has a bottle of my pills out there with my unique first and last name. I hope he doesn't do anything with it. Update. Almost a week later, and guess what turned up? No, not the guy, sadly enough, but my pills have been recovered. The bottle was found a few blocks away, still half full, by eyeballing it. Well, I can't take my remaining doses though. Apparently, since this guy wanted to abduct me, yes, the cops are legit calling it an attempted abduction now. He could have tampered with the medication. The cops are keeping the bottle for evidence because fingerprints exist. Anyway, that's the most exciting thing that's happened to me so far regarding this. I've been keeping my eyes out in case the fake cop comes wandering onto my campus. And yes, I did switch my bus route. I'm taking the long way, which I don't enjoy, but until they catch the creep, that's the way it's gotta be, unfortunately. Update. This can finally be put to rest. The fake cop was arrested yesterday, after being caught following a woman a few streets away from the cafe. The cops called me when they brought him in. Based on my description, the one I shared with you guys, and him fitting it, they asked if I could come in for a lineup. Sure enough, he was in there. I'm pressing charges for the attempted abduction, and a few other things. I mean, the dude did try to aggressively grab me. The other woman, thankfully, isn't harmed. That's all I know right now, not his name or motives. It's all I can really say about this anyway, because, of course, since I am pressing charges, this could go to trial. But I digress. The guy's been caught, his bail is set. I'm in little danger anymore. I can finally start taking my usual bus route to work again. Huzzah! Well, that's going to be all for today, guys. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Be sure to like if you enjoyed and subscribe for more. So have an awesome day, stay beautiful, and I'll see you next time.